The question I get a lot is, what is the one thing to fix my chronic fatigue? And after 20 years in clinic, here's the honest answer. There isn't one thing. And that's exactly why most people stay exhausted, because they're treating one piece of a three-part loop, and the loop just keeps resetting itself. Let me show you the loop. If you're here, I'm sure you're looking for real solutions. You probably already searched a lot on the internet, and it's full of very mixed, confusing information. So let me bring you my perspective from 20 years as a naturopath. Here's the problem. Most advice out there treats chronic fatigue like it's a broken thing. Fix your gut, calm your nervous system, boost your mitochondria. And each of those people that are saying that are partly right. But here's what I see in clinic that almost no one talks about. Those three problems aren't separate problems. They're one loop. And if you're only treating one, the other two pull you straight back down. Let me explain in the way I explain to my patients. Think of your energy system like a car. If your car was smoking and overheating, you couldn't just drive it down the street and rev the engine harder. You couldn't take it on the freeway and try and go as fast as you can. It would just stall. You've got to fix the motor. So chronic fatigue is the same. Caffeine, willpower, pushing through. It's just revving the broken engine. So let's talk about the three parts of the engine. And then, and this part, no one gives it to you, I'll show you the order I fix them in, because the order really matters about everything. So let's talk about the first point. Number one, the mitochondria. That's the energy center producing energy inside the cells, in case you haven't heard of that. It's the engine. When you have chronic fatigue, those engines are running dirty. They're inflamed, they're sluggish, they're not producing the energy they should. And here's the thing. Did you know that pushing tired mitochondria harder, it actually makes more waste, not more energy? That's the crash you feel after pushing through a good day. And it's not in your head, that's biochemistry. I've seen it hundreds of times. The patient who has one good day, everything they've been putting off, they do on that day, and then they push through, and then the next 3 days are in bed. That's the mitochondrial signature. You can't will your way out of it. But here's why fixing the mitochondria alone doesn't work, because what is making them run dirty? That brings us to the second point. Number two, the gut. And you've heard me say this before, everything starts in the gut. The gut is the fuel line. If it's clogged with inflammation and the microbiome is out of balance, then the cleanest engine in the world isn't going to feed the good mitochondria. It's dirty fuel. You can't take every mitochondria supplement on the shelf either. I see people who have, with a cupboard full of them, and it won't matter because the fuel coming through is inflammatory. And here's the connection most people miss. An inflamed gut sends signals straight up to the brain that the body is under threat. Is your gut quietly telling your brain you're in danger? For a lot of my chronic fatigue patients, the answer is yes. And that takes us to the third point and the most overlooked part. Number three, the nervous system. And this is the one that's having a real moment online right now. The brain retraining, the nervous system regulation crowd. And they're onto something real, but they're treating it like it's the whole answer. In my experience, it's 1/3 of the answer. Here's what's happening. Your nervous system is stuck in a threat mode, wired and tired. You're exhausted, but you can't switch off. You can't sleep properly. You're feeling anxious for no reason, and you can't name it. Your body is stuck with that ignition jammed on. A body that thinks it's under attack will not release energy. It hoards it because biologically it thinks it's fighting for survival. So you can calm the nervous system with all the breathing and meditation in the world, and please do if it helps. But the gut is still sending danger signals and the engine's still dirty and it's getting dragged right back down into that threat mode. Now, if this is the first time someone's connected these dots for you, you're going to want to hear the next piece. So stay with me, because this part is the part that actually changes the outcome. So here's the take-home message I really hope I can share with you in this video. It's not whether you treat these three things, it's the order. In clinic over 20 years, here's what I found works. You don't start with the mitochondria. That's revving the engine before it's ready. And you don't start by trying to force the nervous system to calm down while it's still getting danger signals from below. You start with the gut. You calm the fuel line first. get the gut right, because the moment the gut stops sending those inflammatory threat signals to the nervous system, it gets the space to come down out of threat mode on its own. And only then, once the body feels safe and the fuel is clean, do the mitochondria finally get the conditions they need to rebuild. Gut, then nervous system, then energy, in that order. That's the sequence the loop responds to. And making the gut healthier, that's not a bad thing to do regardless. Even if you didn't touch your fatigue, which it will, it's going to make you healthier anyway. There's no downside to starting there. So if you've been treating one piece and wondering why you're still stuck, now you know. It was never one thing. It was that loop. And the loop had an order. I want you to know I can give you hope that there's light at the end of the tunnel, but it requires a plan just for you, because it's your story. You have your own unique genetics and your diet and your day-to-day routine, and it's your story, how you got here. A one-size-fits-all medicine is never going to fix your chronic fatigue. You've got to dig deeper into a real fix. If you want to keep going, watch the next video and keep learning. I'll see you there, healing.